Hi, I'm Margaret, and today I'm making stuffed chocolate chip cookies. You've told me the ones you'd like me to make, and I thought I'd make them all. So this recipe came from my daughter this week. She's been making chocolate chip cookies and found this one works really well. So let's start with the basic chocolate chip cookie recipe. I've not made it in my oven before, and as ovens vary, it's a good idea for me to practice it first, so here goes. As you probably know, these kind of cookies are so easy to make. And you can also freeze them, you can chill them, and just make a batch when you're ready. They take just 15 minutes to cook, and they taste brilliant. They're nice and crispy on the outside and beautifully chewy on the inside. So in with the flour. This flour comes pre-sieved, but I always like to sieve it first. It does settle in the packet. There we go. The flour's mostly in now. So finally in with those chocolate chips. You can use pre-made chips or you can chop up chocolate, that's rather nice too. Now these cookies are liable to spread, well, you want them to spread. So just a little ball on top of the paper will work fine, and it'll make the cookie shape itself. Don't want to put them too close together, give them that space, and then basically straight in the oven. They need to be left on the cooling rack in the tray for a little while, just to firm up. They come out quite soft. But when they've been there for about 10 or 15 minutes, do take them off the tray and let them cool thoroughly. If they're on the rack, then the air can get to all sides of them and cool them more easily. Now they really are delicious just like this, but I thought this week I'd ask you what kind of stuffing you think ought to go inside chocolate chip cookies, and I got lots of lovely answers. Some things I never even thought of putting into a cookie, like Oreos, but there was one that really caught my eye, and it was pecan nut paste. Now, I've never heard of this. I love pecans, but in the United Kingdom it's really hard to find this. So Debra from Debra's Delicious Dishes has given me a challenge here. I'm going to try and make my own. Now all the recipes I found said it's best to roast the pecans first to get the flavour. So I did this in a frying pan just gently for about 5 minutes, and then I popped them into a coffee grinder when they were cool. I gave them a whiz, added some salt, and this is what happened. It's a bit runny, so I think I'm going to have to freeze this before I try and put it into a cookie. In fact, I think I'll also freeze the peanut butter and the Nutella. These little silicone trays are for making homemade chocolates, and I thought they'd be ideal for this. You could also use an ice cube tray. That would work well too. But each of these ingredients are so soft, I can just imagine how hard it would be to put them inside cookie dough. It would be a bit like trying to put an octopus into a string bag. So I reckon this is the only way. Now into the freezer with them. I left these overnight and they were lovely and hard when they came out. So as these are going to be stuffed, I think I'm going to have to make them a little bit bigger to go around the ingredient. So I'm only putting 4 on this tray. Let's start with those little frozen ones. They'll need to be well covered over so they don't leak from the cookie when it's baking. I'll need to get a good seal on each one. And while they cool on the cooling rack, let's look at the other fillings I'm going to use. Well, each one of these was popped into a cookie and covered over and baked, and I was so interested to see how they came out because I just hadn't tried this before. The great ideas there. You've certainly given me a fun baking session. Well, I'll leave you with pictures of how they came out. Have a fab week, and I'll catch you guys very soon.